Hi, my name's Justine, and I want to tell you a story about how sometimes good things can happen even when we resist them. The workshop that I'm doing on Saturday, the 17th of March, so that's just next weekend, is about personality types, love languages, connection, communication, all that warm, fuzzy stuff. Now, I've run this in defense many, many times, and the kinds of people that I do it with are generally, defense members, public servants, contractors, that sort of thing. And they all use it as team building and, working out team cohesion and communication within the teams and just getting along better and improving productivity and, happiness and well-being in the workplace. One of the participants was a contractor last year, and so he came along to this because he had to, because it was part of his job. And when we got there, really friendly guy, quite nice, and he said, "Look, I don't need to learn this crap. It's I don't care what my personality is. I don't care about love languages. I get along all right with everyone at work. There's a few idiots there, but I keep my head low." And the way he was talking was just the way a lot of the guys and girls were talking from that area. And then I sort of do a tick and flick personality. It's like a self-analysis tool. And then we look into the different personality types and what makes you tick the way that you do and others, and why you get along really well with some people and why other people you're probably a bit intolerant of or you don't get along well with. And we go a lot into that sort of stuff, and we have a little bit of fun. It's quite interactive. Anyhow, at the end of it, this particular guy came up to me and he said, "Oh, I really didn't want to come today, but this was great. And I would really love to do this exercise with my wife because we're really struggling." And so I gave him a spare sheet and I said, "Well, look, not right now, but when you think the time is right, just broach it with her and ask her if she'll do the test, and just say, look, we did this at work. Do you want to have a crack at it and see what you are, see what personality type you are." And over the next couple of weeks, he asked me a couple of questions, and then he fell off the radar. And I saw him. He approached me some 4 months later. And he was really shaky and quite a bit, a little bit upset. And I said, "What's the matter, mate? What's going on?" And he said, "Well, last night I finally plucked up the courage to have a conversation with my wife about the personality thing that we did." And I said, "Oh, how'd it go?" Because he was really worried that she wouldn't do it and that she would, ridicule him. Now, this guy's a big, tough, bulky, manly man, goes to the gym, he's a contractor, he's got a truck, and just the last person you would expect that would be, thinking or doing anything, reading anything positive or doing anything like that. And he said, well, he said, "I waited until we were in bed and it was 11 o'clock at night. She was almost asleep. And so I got her really when she was vulnerable." And he said, she sat up in bed and said, "Go and get it now." And he said, I was really shocked. So he said, I couldn't get fast enough. I'm rummaging through my bag and I got it out because it only takes 5 minutes to complete. And he said, "I got this thing out." And he said, and this is where his eyes started to well up with tears. And he touched me in the arm and he said, she loved it. And he said, she was the type that I thought she was. And she said to me, "That's why things have been different the last few months, because you understand me now." Anyhow, long story short, he said they stayed up until 3 o'clock in the morning talking about stuff over the years that have, where they've really had a lot of conflict and where they've both had a perception that the other person didn't understand them. And I was just blown away that this one guy who nearly didn't come along because, he was really resisting it and didn't think it was important to learn any of this kind of stuff. And he also did admit to me, he said, "Look, guys don't need to learn this shit, and, that's a girl's job," or, he just had resisted it so much. And he said, "I'm so glad I had to come, for work, because this has saved my marriage." He said, "I can tell from my conversation I had with her last night, this has saved my marriage." And he was glowing, and quite emotional at the same time. And the last thing he said to me was, "I wish I'd known this earlier. I wish I'd known this earlier." And that's why I do this, because I do have a lot of people say to me like, oh, look, I don't, why do I have to learn about personalities? Well, you don't have to. You don't have to learn how your brain operates. You don't have to learn about human interaction. But when you do, everything around you changes. Things just run more smoothly. Life's more fun. I have found I've got deeper connections with people. And, if I was an Autobot, they'd call me the connector. Or maybe if I was a wrestler, they'd call me the connector. I think it's super important because wonderful things can come from the stuff that you resist. So I really hope you can make it next Saturday. If you can't and you still want to know more about what I do around the personalities and coaching and love languages and that sort of thing, or anything like that, anything you need help with, get in touch with me because I would really love to work with you. That's what I do. Okay, love you. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.